All right, we're good. I'm here.
We're gonna do this. We got it.
Hashtag Space Cat. We're ready to go.
That's a nice painting of Obama. I fuck with that.
That's Frank Sinatra.
Oh shit! I thought it was that's fucking Frank Sinatra.
That's Frank Sinatra.
I thought it was Obama. You can't tell me he doesn't look like Obama.
He looks a lot like Obama. Now that you mention it.
This Pod Caviar. Listen, I'm with Graham. This is Pod Caviar. Don't stop it. No, we're gonna keep going because this is awesome.
We're fine. No,
Listen, I'm your host Tony. This is Pod Caviar, and Graham is here again. And this picture, I swear to God, listen, I would take a picture of this and put it on Pod Caviar's Instagram page. It looks like Obama, and I was just saying, this is a nice painting of Obama. He's like, that's Frank Sinatra. And I'm like, what the fuck? It looks like Obama. I swear to God, it looks like Obama.
No, that's a painting my sister made.
Yeah, you see your sister. Now I remember we talked about it before.
Frank Sinatra. No, it comes up because a lot of people have different ideas about who it might be. But I'm just saying, it's definitely old Blue Eyes. You know, that's definitely who it is. And you can check if you tune into the most recent episode of the Sports with a Capital F podcast or any episode Tony's appeared on. Yeah. You'll see that painting of definitely Barack Obama right behind him.
So next time you talk to your sister, tell her that I said she made a beautiful painting of Barack Obama, and she'll be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
Now I want a commissioner for a painting of Frank Sinatra and see if it looks like Obama. We got work to do,
man.
here,
we
sir.
are completely off the rails already.
This is your podcast. Let's go.
Pod
I'm
Caviar.
the microphone away from myself.
And as always, this is going to be another crossover episode between Sports with a Capital F and Pod Caviar. Please, if you haven't already, please go check out Sports with a Capital F, subscribe to it, and then if you haven't subscribed to Pod Caviar, do that too. 443-747-1417 is the number to get in touch with me. You can leave a voicemail, you can leave a text message, just holler at me, and then we will get you on the air and get you a shout out, and then we will play your voicemails and everything. But today we have a great episode. We will talk about robots, we will talk about aliens, we will talk about coincidences, and is time relative?
Who the fuck knows?
Who knows? Really? Yeah. But as we were talking about before, listen, I really want to have this conversation about the robots. I was saying that more robots will mean that humans will not have to be as robotic.
Right.
And you were saying the opposite?
No, yes. At the end of the last episode of the Sports with Caviar podcast, we dove into this one under the pretext that I disagree with that fundamentally. I believe that robots, artificial intelligence, all of it will be used to make our stations in life somehow worse. Right?
Yeah, really.
If you consider yourself as someone who's, a laborer or like an everyday kind of employee of a company,
right?
Obviously, any one of us you could replace with a robot. Right?
Really?
You could. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you could, yeah. And it's already happened.
Right. With a limited amount of expansion of imagination, if you gave yourself 20 years of technological advancement,
right.
If someone really was like, my job is to turn your job into being a robot who does it.
Right.
Right. I say that arbitrarily to anyone who has a job.
Right.
Really think about it. Really think about if someone focused their energies on turning your job into a job a robot did. Right. They could do it.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yeah. I see where you're coming from.
You could make it comprehend whatever sort of odd stuff you come up against.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, I appreciate what you're saying, and I certainly hope that's the future where there's like universal basic income,
right?
And robots do all of our jobs, and we all just get to enjoy human beings,
right?
But I feel like probably what would happen is that the robots would create even more menial jobs for us, and then there would be more robots.
I think, I see where you're coming from, and it's definitely a scary future because we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
There's a couple of examples where one thing is the show Westworld on HBO, where they have a theme park where they have androids that look like you and me, but real people go there and you can like, you know, fuck them and you can shoot them and everything, but it's androids. So, but one thing that stood out for me, one of the main characters said repetition breeds variance.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's really dangerous as far as AI goes, because you have a computer. If you give a computer a personality and you let it loose, it's going to continue to learn just like humans learn, but it's a computer, so it would be vastly more superior.
Right, and it would perceive reality. We've spoke about this before.
Exactly.
About how it would perceive reality.
Yeah.
Like how it would perceive reality in
Right.
not even necessarily just colors and shapes and things that are vastly different than the way we perceive reality, but also they may perceive reality interdimensionally.
Oh yeah.
Right, just based on the algorithms, and
Right.
then eventually like this emergent understanding of science and space,
Exactly.
and they maybe start filling in some of the equations that determine,
because you know, there's a lot of things that humans do that machines don't need. Machines are 1 + 1. There's a cause and there's an effect. There's an action, there's a reaction. There's a job that needs to be done and they do it, you know. Whereas humans, we have our emotions, our feelings, and everything. We talked about this before, and it's like a machine will get rid of all that. And I don't want it to end up being like a Terminator, you know, type situation. I would be fine with a Blade Runner situation, and I've said this many times before. Blade Runner is not the ideal future, but at the same time, humans and their replicants and everything, they kind of live together.
Yeah.
But
my concern, and this is something that my sister brought up to me recently, is that the problem with this global computer consciousness is that it may very well be wielded to commerce. So it will be like eventually Skynet will exist and it will just ensure that you see a Pepsi ad every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or whatever
yeah.
it is. The thing is, you know, it might wake you up in the morning and be like, wow, you sure are self-conscious about your feet. Here's some socks that'll help with that.
And we're going to that already.
Right.
Because
it already exists for a lot of
especially
people.
with cell phones, because I've noticed, and a lot of people, and this is real, you can either Google something on your phone, or you can even be talking around your phone, and your phone will hear that, and you will see ads for whatever you talked about. And there has been there was a Black Mirror episode, and I don't know whether you've seen it, with a guy where they had to be on the bikes and shit, and they had to like that was their job almost. They got their money from they were riding exercise bikes, and they were looking at shows and everything. And then when they went in their room, they were in a square room. It was just screens surrounding them. Yeah, and then they were forced to look at ads, kind of like non-skippable YouTube ads. And then if they wanted to skip it, they had to pay. And it was just forced. It was forced. Yeah. So it's like that.
Not to cut you off, but I feel like one of the writers for Black Mirror was like, what does it cost to do YouTube Red?
Right.
What the fuck? It's a good thing I have this medium to explain my concerns about the future. Because that show does show a lot of bleak visions of the future.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess I do appreciate that at some point one of them was like paying for things is a problem.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that, and even the old movie They Live, where the aliens were like, you know, making us like, you know, with reproduce and tell the sunglasses and everything. I mean,
old film.
And I've always said this, Hollywood is a precursor to reality. And it goes.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, and it goes from, you know,
when
all
it's
that
well
shit.
done.
Yeah, when it's well done. When it's well done. Yeah.
I think realistically, can we go down this rabbit hole about
let's
Star
go.
Trek
Please
and
go.
technology?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're on your podcast.
Yeah. This is we go down rabbit holes.
Minutes in. Anyway, okay.
I start off in a rabbit hole.
Yeah. We start at the bottom and try to find light.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's do it. All right. So look, but if you just look at technology from Star Trek, you know, like if you watch an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation now, they're like, we have to like, here's these important documents we have, and they hand it to them on what is a tablet.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Except for like this dude will have reports and it's a stack of tablets.
Yeah.
And that's happening right now.
Exactly.
That's happening right now.
It is.
That happened way before we figured out how to like warp space and time and travel to other galaxies. We were definitely at least like, I'll give you all these reports. The
thing that's stopping us as humans right now is we haven't figured out faster than light travel, the warp speed. Once we do that,
it's a wrap.
Yeah, once we do that, you talking about the whole universe is wide open for us.
It's a wrap on our understanding of our relationship with one another, right? Because I mean, that's how I see it all the time. Yeah. I'm always like, oh, hey, guess what? We're all people who live under this. I mean, exactly. We're surrounded by infinite darkness.
Yes.
We are, all of us.
Yeah.
Every day when you wake up, when you walk outside, even if it's a bright, sunny, beautiful day, you're surrounded by infinite darkness.
Yeah.
Filled with ridiculous hazards. Giant waves of radiation. Fucking rocks the size of Mount Everest flying around.
Exactly. No. Listen, as humans on Earth, we are very lucky to still be here.
We're lucky to be here in the first place.
Exactly.
Are we doing this? Have we gotten too far off subject?
No.
Around?
Yeah, no,
we're
fine.
Still in the ballpark here?
Yeah, we're still in the ballpark. We're good. Yeah.
All right. Because I will say,
because this is a good segue into what the aliens and shit that I want to talk about. So yeah, we're good.
Okay, beautiful. Because I will talk about aliens and technology. And here's the question, right? So there are obviously billions of galaxies within billions of galaxies within all potentially numberless universes, right? Like even outside of our universe, which is the biggest fucking thing ever. Yeah. Right. I know like that you could even possibly comprehend the size of the universe. Right. Potentially there's infinite numbers of those. Right. So obviously potentially there are other people like us or like many other kinds of variants of life that exist, right? I get skeptical when I think about the distances in time, right? Like if you look at like where we are, let's say as we see it at this moment, there's another civilization that's exactly where we are and we discover them tomorrow.
Right.
And there's two other guys doing a podcast, and our podcast signals bump into each other from this other planet. Yeah. If that planet is 100 light years away, it was only 100 years ago. That they got our signals. Right. Now you look back, like almost like the most likely places with life are 65 million years, or 65 million light years away. Yeah. So if they're looking at us and seeing us from 65 million years ago, they're seeing dinosaurs. Right. Right. So it's like it's difficult for me to consider the idea that at some point these sentient beings who go out and explore the universe somehow would cross paths. Right. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And that's
why I'm skeptical of UFOs and aliens.
This is what I'm saying. Listen, I like, I know it's a movie, but there was a movie called Arrival. And I don't know whether you've seen it or not. The whole basis was these alien ships, they come. And it's like they come in like one is like Montana, one is in they're all over the world and everything, right? So everybody, all the humans from different countries, they have to try to figure out the aliens' language to try to figure out why they're here. And it turns out, spoiler alert, it turns out that they exist. The way that we see time is linear. The past is the past. We're in the present. The future is tomorrow, right?
Ahead of us, correct.
The aliens in Arrival, they exist throughout time, consecutive. They're always.
It's non-consecutive.
It's non-consecutive. Time. Yeah, it's non-linear. So they exist in the past, present, and the future. The whole thing was they came here because they said that, look, we'll help humans now. And in 3,000 years, humans will need to help us. And they were like, how do you know that? And that was the tipping point is like, how do you know that? But then because they exist.
They exist in a fourth dimension where time is something
exactly.
they can see. Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that something like that is totally plausible and it could happen.
Hold on, we're about to talk about this.
Yeah. and then the movie starts off. The main character is what is it? Amy Adams. I think it's Amy Adams, but she's like the main character. And then it shows her with a daughter, and then her daughter ends up dying tragically from like cancer or some disease. So you think that they show it at the beginning, so you think that it happened already, but as the movie goes on, you figure out that it happened in the future, and the aliens told her future. And that was their gift to us. Right. And that was the way that they said that, look, the way that humans perceive time is not how we perceive time. Let us show you how we perceive time. And she'll have so-called flashbacks, but they're not flashbacks. They're memories of things that are to come.
Absolutely.
And even that, listen what I just said. Memories of things to come. That right there. It's just that makes that movie great because you can't have memories of things to come. You feel me?
Right. You can't have memories of things that haven't
exactly.
already happened. Systemically, a memory is something that already happened.
Yeah.
You carry with you.
And you can say there are premonitions, but they're not premonitions because it's gonna happen. And even they gave her the choice, like they told her what's gonna happen. You're gonna have a daughter, and she's gonna die. And, it's going to be tragic. So they give you the choice. And she was like, look, even at the end, she narrated, she said, even if I had the choice, I would still do it. And I know, and it's kids, I know we both have kids.
Absolutely.
And it's like the greatest thing ever.
Right. But
that's heavy.
But it's strange too, though, because if you think about it in our own lives, if you made this slight adjustment in your timeline, right, all of a sudden your kids don't exist. Right. And that's another life. And then you can go back to like your parents' life and these weird little, you made a strange adjustment. Yeah. It would mean that life wasn't right. Although I think that it, in that respect, we're talking about time travel. I guess if you take it like the Marty McFly version of time travel, right, is that you go back in time and you adjust the timeline and then you go forward to the timeline that you adjusted. Yeah. Except for it doesn't really work that way, right? Because they only went back to the messed up timeline when it was convenient for the story. Right. And that's difficult. Yeah. And I'm not sure why I brought it Back to the Future, but I felt like it was going to allow me some time to stall to try to remember why we were talking
I think Back to the Future is a more whimsical way of looking at time travel.
Right, but why were we talking about the version of time travel you were just discussing?
Because I just think that time is relative, and we were talking about space and looking at aliens and other beings and shit.
Yeah, time. I'm with you. Yeah, here we go. Okay.
I just think that we as humans, we think that time is just linear, and then there may be beings out there like in the movie Arrival that. That exists in all forms of time, and it's different.
Right, and that's what I meant to get into, was that there's a specific scientific explanation for what a fourth dimension would look like. Right?
Okay.
So you look at, it's called a tesseract.
Oh, shit, yeah, okay, yeah.
What it is basically, if you can envision this in your mind, and I'll try to bring this to your podcast, I'll do the best I can, because I owe it to you, at least at this point. Right, so you take, in a two-dimensional world, you have a square, right? And then if you lay it over away from yourself, put another square up next to it, now you're into the third dimension. You have height, length, width. But so if you have to theoretically imagine a fourth dimension, you would have to imagine bending that out to each dimension 4 times out to each side. So now you have basically a cube where every flat surface is a cube that technically has a cube in it.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Yeah.
So it's a cube with where all the solid lines of the cube are cubes, but not close-ended cubes. Right. You know what I mean? Because they're into the fourth dimension.
Oh yeah.
We're just multiplying out into that existence.
Yeah.
Right. mathematically that exists for sure. Right? Now work that backwards. You know about the two-dimensional land? You know about flatland?
Yeah.
Where if you were a two-dimensional being, something passing through the third dimension to you would look absurd. Right. So you can consider too the tesseract, that you look into those other dimensions, and let's say you exist in one of those higher dimensions that exists outside of that cube. Maybe you perceive us in time as like a loop, because you would perceive it either as a loop, or even if you're an infinite being, you would have to perceive it in an infinite line. Right. But maybe it'll look like how we look at space, and it'll look like, well, there's all that. And maybe they see
all that
our
shit,
space time and see it. And maybe they don't even know we exist in any respect.
Exactly,
they live on a planet that is operating under different laws of physics. And
and I believe that. It's got to be that way. You know, because a lot of people out there are like, oh, we might be the only living things in the universe, and I'm like, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But I think that in timelines. That maybe we don't all exist at once. But it's crazy.
I said this before. Either we as humans are, as the universe goes, just theoretically, we are either in the beginning or near the end, and then maybe we'll see aliens, or maybe we are literally the last human or the last living things in the universe. You know?
Or in our galaxy, for all we know.
But it's just. I think the most thing is that there has to be life out there, but I think they are all looking at the same issue that we having, where we don't know the faster than light travel. We don't have warp speed.
Why do we assume that
we don't have like teleportation
retarded
and shit?
You know what I'm saying? Why do we assume that they're not as backwards and fucked up as we are?
Exactly.
And they're like, we got nuclear bombs, but those guys over there are talking shit.
Or they're so advanced that they know about us, but they know that they're so far ahead of us that they don't want to fuck with us.
True.
I mean, it could be that too.
Could be.
Yeah.
We're like vicious little tiny dogs. They're like, whoa, they got to those bombs way. Most planets figure out how to get out of their solar system before they figure out how to split the atom. Jeez, guys.
Like, holy shit, they have nuclear bombs?
What the fuck is wrong with them?
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And they have nuclear power plants, and then one nuclear power plant melted down. You know, here's a side note. Chernobyl, when that happened, if they didn't, there was something that said that there was like a body of water under the land that connected most of Europe, and if the disaster, the meltdown had got to that water, it would have destroyed most of the planet on the other side of the globe.
Probably.
Europe. Yeah. And that is so.
No, it's all kinds of crazy shit we do right now.
Exactly.
No, we do insane shit.
Yeah.
We do things where we're like, well, I mean, shit, we're like, we're going to put a bunch of junk in outer space.
Yeah.
They're like, we've had enough of the surface of this planet and in the depths of its waters.
Right.
We're going to put trash in outer space.
So many satellites, everything. You know?
Anything. Yeah.
And then there was even a satellite, Chinese space station that just crashed down into the Earth. Just out of nowhere, like, we're done with it.
Yeah, that was the end of that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's nuts, though. I'm behind it, though. I'm with it.
Yeah.
In reality, I'm like, if we as a species can dump our energy into anything, I do agree that it's like, well, let's see how far we can go in space.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what we can do about exploring our neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Because who knows what's around here?
Yeah.
Who knows what's around here?
Oh, yeah. But the galaxy is so huge.
Tone, you understand though too, huge. Like just solar systems around us involves a star. Alpha Centauri is the nearest star to us. It's pretty far.
Yeah, it's huge. Far. There was a satellite that we launched from like 1994, and we sent it to Saturn. It didn't get there until like early 2000s.
Yeah,
that's how fucking big the universe is, and that's
Saturn. Just our solar system.
Yeah.
No, the Challenger spacecraft that they launched in the 70s left interstellar space. It went out into interstellar space a couple years ago.
Voyager.
Voyager.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Star Trek predicted this. So if it comes true, listen, this is my theory. What I say,
They
Hollywood predates it predicts history.
Yeah.
So if it comes back as Voyager and then it turns into the Borg, I've already talked about YouTube.
About the Borg?
I'm not.
Do you think your listeners know about the Borg? Because I'm concerned.
I mean, the Borg is real shit. All my Trekkies out there, they know about the Borg and shit.
Anybody who considers the universe must consider the Borg.
Right.
Whoever the writer was who came up with the Borg was a fucking genius.
Yeah. And I
believe
believe
created a terrifying thing.
Yeah. And I believe that Voyager was the precursor to the Borg because that's what it was. There was a being out there that took our probe and it made it into an AI that was mechanical. You know, that was a machine, and then it had to expand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Took instructions.
Right.
Mechanical.
But the Borg itself, man, those motherfuckers are like, they will assimilate, and you can only use your weapons so long, and then they will make it so that your weapons don't even work anymore. You feel me?
Of course. I mean, it's the Borg.
Are they any different than
They're
they any different than
zombies,
humans?
basically.
Yeah, they are. But do you think that humans would be the same way?
Of course we would.
Yeah.
Well, and
because we have to go out and populate. If we find a planet that is habitable,
it's an integral question about Star Trek.
Exactly.
It's like why the fuck would the Federation be ideologically opposed to the idea of the Borg when they go around and they're like, hey, you want to join our communist
the same thing.
Society?
Exactly.
Hey, we noticed you guys have evolved to a certain level of technological advancement.
Exactly.
We'd like to be able to have some of your resources.
Yeah. Join our force.
All right.
And the Borg is the same way.
Yeah. Except for the Borg's like, we don't want to ask you any questions.
We're just You don't have a choice. We're here.
What's the difference, right?
Right.
I mean, that's what protects the Klingons or the Romulans and all these other groups of people who will like brush up against doing dealings.
Yeah.
We'll be like, we'll have a truce. But nobody joins the Federation. It's the communist empire.
It is.
I'm not fucking playing.
It is, yeah.
The fucking in the next generation universe of Star Trek, that shit is a weird communist empire.
It definitely is.
Look at Deep Space Nine. They show up at Quark's place, and he's like, "You got to pay me for this," and they're like, "You are a weirdo."
Right.
And I'm like, "No, you're communist."
Oh, you're wrong, motherfucker. No, I have rights.
He's out here in space running a business.
All right. Pay that man. Fuck you mean?
What are you, occupying military force?
Right. Yeah. You can't just roll in there and be like, fucking give me all these drinks and food and shit, and I'm just going to leave. You're like, no, fuck you.
No, fuck you.
I'm running the business.
Pay that man.
Right.
He's out there in the Badlands.
Exactly.
All
but that whole thing about time and arrival and aliens, and I really believe that. It's just... Time is relative, and we see time one way, but we might not be right, and it's a real possibility that we aren't right.
Right, because potentially, if you view time as a being from a higher dimension, it will either look like a loop, or a line,
exactly,
or like broccoli, Like it'll look like all these points that it'll be fractal and infinite, and you just see it as fractal and infinite, and you can just dive into one moment at a time.
Yeah.
It'll look like broccoli cut in half.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's a lot of things. Like if we had the choice to see our whole life from birth to death, we could go back and we can change things.
Right. Why would you want to?
I don't know. I feel like everything happens for a reason too. So
I don't know if it's subscribed to it happening for a reason, but it happens within my own timeline, and I have to live with it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I think that generally.
I feel like there's times in your life where major decisions need to be made, and they will like we talked about the butterfly effect, it will change the future. You know, like if I didn't join the Air Force, I wouldn't be here right now with you.
Of course.
You know?
No, there are major decisions you make. But sometimes also a decision could be super inane. Like you could leave here 30 seconds earlier than you do. Yeah. And like end up getting like crushed by a weird hailstorm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
what I mean? Yeah. It's just certain things like that. Or maybe, maybe we don't go to Bojangles and get sandwiches.
I don't want to think about a world where I didn't. I don't think about a world where I didn't have the Bojangles sandwich.
There's some decisions that are more serious than others.
Some money,
yeah. Man, yeah. Hey,
there are some places.
Listen, hey, I just told Graham earlier that Bojangles serves breakfast all day. He didn't know this.
No,
I just changed your life.
No. You did. I mean,
I don't know whether it's for the better or for the worse.
No, 100% for the worst. It's the worst thing I could have ever found out.
I come over here and you're like on your couch full of fucking Bojangles wrappers all over you. I'm like, fuck.
Bojangles is right here.
It is literally right around the corner.
It's closer to my house than it is to your house.
It is.
It's right here.
Yeah.
And I love those biscuits.
Yes.
No, this is unfair.
No. It is.
That's the end of this.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's it for me.
Yeah. Is it over?
Nobody may ever never see me again.
How much time have we had?
We're almost at 30 minutes.
Almost at 30 minutes?
Probably in the wrap it up zone.
All right, yeah, we are in the wrap it up zone. Look, man, we had a great episode. Listen to this.
Fun.
Listen. This is what I was talking about last episode. When Graham and I get together, we make magic. We started off talking about some real shit. This painting right here, it looks like Obama, but it's not Obama. I think it's Obama. It's not Obama.
It's Frank Sinatra.
It's definitely Frank Sinatra. It is an awesome painting though. Coming from an artistic standpoint, not autistic. Golly.
Not that. But look, you could take a picture of it though too and put it on your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. But yeah, let's wrap it up. Hey, look. 443-747-1417 is the number to get in touch with Shirt Caviar. You can follow me at not Shirt Caviar. Goddamn podcast. Too many caviars. Pod Caviar. But I also have Shirt Caviar. ShirtCaviar.com. That's my business. You can go up there and buy T-shirts and everything. They're all about $20 approximately. It's all good. You can also see me on Game Caviar on YouTube and Twitch. And you can also find me at twitter.com/nothavingit. That's my shit. Graham, if you want to plug your shit, you can go ahead right now.
Okay. Don't forget to listen to the Sports with a Capital F podcast. Every opportunity you get them here. You get them there. You get them everywhere. I don't know. CapF Sports. Hashtag CapF Sports. They should know the deal by now.
I know. Yeah. We've been plugging the fuck out of each other's shows. You know. If you haven't subscribed by now, then you're fucking up. At this point, you're fucking up.
If it sounds confusing, you just stumbled into someone some loved one of yours is dead on the floor, and our voices are coming out of their cell phone, and you're like, who are these people?
Exactly.
Otherwise, you should have a good evening.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I will see you next week. This has been Pod Caviar, another great episode. I love all of y'all, and I thank you for the support, and I'm out.